boys and girls, cats and dogs. Hey, step 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to other alcoholics and addicts and practice these principles in all our affairs. Okay, so look at the spiritual experience, the psychic change, the paradigm shift in consciousness. Like, what is that? Okay, so look at down for the ages, there have been certain men and women that have had this thunderbolt of awareness, bow, and all of a sudden they just got struck sober. They got struck to where they were living in darkness. Life was not too cool. And all of a sudden, overnight, through a profound spiritual experience, they've had a revolutionary shift in the way that they saw life. They saw themselves and they saw life and they saw the world around them. Just complete change. And that is like, I like to think of it as living and existing in a dark room. And all of a sudden, boom, 1,000 watts of light are shining in this room to where you're not stumbling around anymore. You're not angry and upset and feel like a failure, tripping on yourself, bumping into stuff, accidentally hurting people, accidentally hurting yourself. You can't see. Then all of a sudden this effect happens to where you can see who you are, the value you can add to life, the person you could become, the pursuit of happiness, joy, tranquility, peace, all of a sudden just manifests. So this other psychic change, the one that the 12 steps produce, is no less profound. It is equivalent to 900 watts of light, 1,000 watts of light, where was once a dark room, now we can see. We can see. I can see now. I have no desire to screw myself through hate, shame, guilt, want to use, want to drink, want to smoke speed. I don't want to change the way I feel. Even when I'm sad, even when I'm confused, even when stuff's tough, I don't want to change the way I feel with substances at all. If I knew that this was possible, that I was going to be able to feel this way by working 12 steps, I would have worked it like my ass was on fire. Like I would have done it. You know, praying all day, meditating all day, reading, writing, letting go, practicing. But I didn't know that because I'd been in the rooms for years. I never really took the step serious. I was just thinking that if I stay sober and stop drinking and using, I'm supposed to be happy. But I was never happy. It was okay. It was all right. It was kind of neat. But I still would much rather have a couple beers. I would much rather be able to smoke a little speed and have a little energy. I would much rather feel the relief of heroin than stay sober. And that is why I continue to always relapse. I truly believe that there's only one reason why people relapse, and that is because life is not satisfying enough sober. If life is satisfying sober, then I don't want to drink and use. But it was never extremely satisfying, so I would always want to see if I can handle a beer, smoke a joint, do a little something to change the way I feel. And inevitably, because I am an addict, because I am an alcoholic, because I have this disease, whatever you want to call it, I got it, and it kept screwing me. So this other psychic change, this other spiritual awakening, the educational variety that it talks in the book it's still 1,000 watts of light shining on your life where it was once a dark room. But the beginning of the journey, I like to think of it as a dimmer switch that's 30 feet tall, and you're starting at the bottom, and every day keep working this program, keep doing this stuff, keep surrendering to the program, surrendering to your sponsor, prayer, meditation, the practice, going to the meetings, sharing your feelings, getting a weird commitment. Every day that thing gets a little bit brighter, and so it goes from 1 watt to 2 watts to 3 watts, and it's barely noticeable in the beginning, and that's why people tap out, because they don't notice it. They get up to 5 watts and it's still as dim as it was when it was 0 watts. It's still dark and confusing. But continued self-discipline and practice, it goes up, and then it gets a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. So all of a sudden, this reality, this place that we exist, where it was dark and gloomy or not extremely satisfying, becomes bright. It becomes lighter. And I'm not gonna tell you that you're gonna get through all 12 steps and all of a sudden, woo, feel amazing. But if you do them honestly to the best of your ability, you will have enough of a psychic change, a spiritual awakening, that you won't want to drink and use. You'll be cool with who you are, the life you have, and you'll be able to see that there's a lot of work to be done. Plus, you will see other people that were once as broken as you, as lost as you, and you will be compelled to want to help them. It's like this. Let's say you had a certain injury in your leg. There was a certain injury and they told you that you're never gonna walk again correctly. But you found this one magical doctor and they told you, go see this guy specializes in that. He has a special cast. It looks weird, but it's special. So you go see this doctor, you get there, the doctor says, you know what, I can help that. So he puts you into this weird Lego cast that looks very strange, puts you in it, and you're in it for a few months, and it's wonky and it's weird, and all of a sudden, he goes, it's time to take the cast off. You take the cast off, and all of a sudden, you're running, you're jumping, you're like your leg is not screwed up anymore. Boom, you're like, hell yeah, that's great. So now as you go through life and you walk down the street and you see another person in that special weird Lego looking cast and you see him from across the street, are you just gonna ignore him and walk by? Yeah, I had one of those. No, you're not. You're gonna run over there and tell that dude, hey man, I had the same cast. I get it, I had the same injury, I get it, I promise you, keep the cast on, keep letting it heal, keep doing this stuff, and you're gonna be right as rain. That's how I feel. I see people with casts all over the place, starting out in this, that's why I'm doing this. I see people starting out in this program, they got the cast on, they don't know if they're ever gonna walk or be free ever again, and I'm freaking shouting from the rooftops, I am compelled to wanna help people that are in that same situation. And if you do this stuff right, to the best of your ability, you will be compelled to want to help people. You will see them in the darkness and you will have a taste of the light and you'll want to be able to get them through too. It's just the way it works. And here's the thing about selfishness. Selfishness is the root of our problems. Selfishness is the root of our problems. Me thinking about myself, tripping on myself, my needs, my wants, my family, my house, my money, my career, my stuff. Me tripping on everything, me. That's selfishness. So if selfishness is the root of my problem, what's the solution? Selflessness. Selflessness. That means Not thinking of yourself as less, but thinking of yourself less. So here's this trippy deal about selfishness, okay? This is gonna sound weird, but I have found that when I'm doing things for me, my family, my children, my mother, my father, my employer, my inner circle, that's selfish. Not in a bad way. It's not selfish to take care of your family, but I have something personally invested in this, okay? I have something, expectation. I have something invested in this, okay? To where I'm obligated or it's my responsibility, okay? So it's still got a personal deal with it. Not in a bad way again, okay? Now, selflessness is working with someone that I expect nothing from, that I want nothing from, I am just helping them just for the mere, they're not paying me, they're not giving me anything. I just want to help this person become light and shiny and have recovered and get back with their families and add value to this place called life, where they were once negative value, now they become valuable and they're crying. That's selflessness. There's this quote that says the measure of a person can be measured by how they treat people that can offer them nothing. How are you treating the wait staff when you go to a restaurant? How are you treating the homeless person on the side of the road that's asking you for $1? How are you treating people that you think are inferior to you? It says a lot about character. But it turns out the secret to life is giving. It is better to give than it is to receive. And then it really turns out like we all want to be loved. We all want to be appreciated. We all want to be cared about. We all want to be held up. We all want to have a beautiful life. The only way to receive that is by giving it. In order to receive love, we must give it. The more love that I give, the more I care about people, the more that I just shoot out there, the universe, God, life declares me worthy of love because I am giving love. So because I'm giving love, I'm worthy of it. And it just comes back. It completes the cycle. Boom. Before I was a taker, I wanted you to love me, but I wasn't giving you nothing. And especially people that I don't want nothing to do with. Early on in the program, my sponsor told me, hey, you know what? The solution to your life, Danny, is gonna be helping others. When you watch people recover, when you see them get their lives together, when you see them helping others, it's gonna be the bright spot of your life. So helping others is gonna solve a humongous deal within you. Well, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. You know why? Because I don't want to help others. I don't like people. Some people, but I don't like people, and I have no desire to help them. I don't. So how am I gonna help others if I don't want to? Because I was measuring myself in the beginning of the journey, and for some reason we get into recovery and we get into sobriety, and then I'm like, I got 90 days sober. I'm gonna have to feel like this forever. This is what sobriety's all about. This is how I'm gonna have to feel forever, because the only way I know how to feel different is through substances, and I don't know any other way to feel better. I've tried going to the gym, I've tried working out, I've tried some mindfulness, I've tried all kinds of shit, but I've tried all kinds of medications, you know? Like, I've been on every medication you can think of, because whenever I got sober, I got depressed, because life wasn't great. I'm on no medication today. You know, I drink a Monster or a freaking Red Bull here and there, and that's about it, you know? But it unlocked something inside of me. That psychic change, that spiritual awakening is very real. The deal is we get through these things and all of a sudden we get the gift of serenity. And with the gift of serenity comes the gift of compassion, something that we haven't had in a long time. I read this letter once, and it was from King George III, and he was writing this letter. It was historical fiction, but he wrote this letter to this merchant that was in the village in England, and he signed it at the bottom of that letter, "Your humble servant, King George III." And I thought about that. Your humble servant. Why would you sign it, "Your humble servant"? Is that just like a nice thing to write because you're a king, you have a castle, you have an army, you have a fleet of ships, you have all the gold in the world, you have everything a human being, you have everything, you are a king. Why would you sign it, "Your humble servant"? But if you think about that deeply, every great leader that went down in history as a great leader, every king, queen, president, prime minister, leader that ever went down in history as great have one thing in common. They put the welfare of the people ahead of their own. They serve the people. They're there, they think about how they can make the people's lives better. They serve the people. A leader that serves himself, by himself, for himself, and trips on himself all frickin' day is a tyrant. I was a tyrant. I wanted everyone to serve me, but I was given nothing back. Service is everything. It says in our book, nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as one-on-one work with another alcoholic. Sitting down with somebody, trying to help this person stay sober, trying to help this person unlock the shame and guilt that is inside of them so this person can be free. This is service. This is adding value. This is selflessness. This is everything good in life. All the good qualities of spirit are being demonstrated in that moment. There's nothing more valuable than spending time with a person when you're only trying to be helpful. Did you know that people are dying left and right? Fentanyl is the #1 killer of people under 50. The #1 accidental killer of people under 50. Fentanyl! And I'm telling you right now, if you spend 5 minutes of your time talking to someone at random, talking to someone in a meeting that is struggling, and you just spend 5 minutes listening to that person, showing that person that you care. Because in that moment, a lot of times people think that nobody gives a shit. And they wind up taking their own life. They wind up going out and overdosing because they really believe that no one cares. 5 minutes with an individual can mean the difference between life and death. But we're also selfish that we're not tripping on other people. We're so wrapped up in our own shit trying to figure out our own lives. Selfish. You know, I tell people all the time that I'm helping, you know, and I'll find out, you know, I'm helping them, getting them into a detox or taking care of them or getting them into a treatment center, getting them a job, keeping them accountable, introducing them to a giant recovery community, and I'm helping them, and all of a sudden I won't hear from her for a few days, and I'll find out they lost a job, they got kicked out of a sober living, they broke up in their marriage, they went through some gnarly calamity, and they never called me. And you know what I tell them? You are so selfish. They're like, what? I don't have any. No, you are so freaking selfish. They're like, what? I go, you're selfish with your problems. You are so selfish with your problems. Share that stuff. No one of us is as strong as all of us. And in the rooms of recovery, there are so many people that have had the same problem as another person, and they're able to give you solution. The secret to life is giving. The secret to life is listening. The secret to life is adding value to other people's lives. That is the secret to life. The more you give, the more you will receive, but we must give without expectations. Anyway, you guys, I hope that helps a little bit about the psychic change, how to achieve it. 1,000 watts of light will be shined on your life, and then you'll want to practice these principles in all your affair. You'll have a pool of serenity within you that you will feel good, cool, great with yourself, and then you will learn how to help others through that, and you will grow, and thrive. All right. That's all I got. Again, I hope that helps. I hope it makes sense. That is the 12th step. Onward and upward, Excelsior in Latin. Go forth and be happy. Trudge the road of happy destiny, because this is it. Have a wonderful, blessed, amazing day, and we'll see you on some follow-ups. Boom. Love is everything.